Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will be giving a short presentation on why I can theoretically defeat Muhyiddin Yassin in a boxing match. So previously I have challenged Muhyiddin Yassin to a boxing match in Dataran Merdeka during National Day, and if he loses, he has to step down as Prime Minister. And just a disclaimer before I continue with this presentation, this is only a literature review as I have yet to collect any empirical data. The main source that I use as a reference for this presentation is the Wikipedia article on Muhyiddin Yassin. As you can see from the previous slide, Muhyiddin Yassin has one Wikipedia article on him, while I have zero Wikipedia article on me. And as the wise Sun Tzu once said, information is power, and therefore with enough information on Muhyiddin Yassin, I am in a much more advantageous state compared to him. The next point I want to highlight is that I am a physics major, while Muhyiddin Yassin majored in economics and Malay studies. You may first think that why is this relevant? But as a physics major, I am blessed with Newton's law to calculate momentum and force, and therefore I am able to use the optimum amount of energy to inflict damage to my opponent. What can Muhyiddin do in this case? Lecture me about supply and demand or the Malay-Malacca Sultanate. So therefore, we can see that Muhyiddin has zero combat advantage over me in this particular case. This may look like a joke to you, but I am in fact 150 centimeters tall, much more shorter than Muhyiddin Yassin, and therefore I am able to strike Muhyiddin from an unexpected angle, and I also have easy access to his weak points. According to Muhyiddin's Wikipedia article, he is in fact an avid golfer while I am an avid runner. So in this next slide, I shall show you a couple of pictures. So on the left, you can see a picture of a runner, while on the right, you can see a picture of a golfer. So this is the second set of pictures, and this is the third set of pictures. What can we conclude from this set of pictures is that runners are in fact much more of a chat compared to a golfer. Now I shall go through some of Muhyiddin's track records. So he has contested for UMNO's Supreme Council seat but lost twice. He also lost when contesting for the UMNO's vice president position, and he is also sacked from the cabinet. And therefore, statistically, Muhyiddin Yassin has lost multiple times, and by inference, he will also lose in a boxing match against me. And this is a picture taken of Muhyiddin Yassin in Parliament of May 2020. And this picture is in fact taken before our Prime Minister went missing. During the COVID-19 pandemic, our Prime Minister used the emergency ordinance to suspend Parliament, and he also suspended Parliament further until September when some MPs were tested positive for COVID-19. It is alleged that our Prime Minister has lost the majority in Parliament, and he is using the suspension of Parliament to run away from his problems. And therefore, we can conclude that Muhyiddin Yassin has a tendency to run away from his problems, which does not offer him any combat advantage. I will now go through a list of debuffs affecting our Prime Minister. So the first debuff is diarrhea. The fact that our Prime Minister suffered from diarrhea has made it into international news, and we all know that diarrhea is in fact the shittiest debuff of them all. The next point I want to highlight is that the king has repeatedly asked Muhyiddin to step down as prime minister. However, he has refused to do so. So through the act of defying the king, he has in fact reduced his survivability in combat significantly. And the final debuff is old age. Our prime minister is 74 years old, and biologically, a younger physique is much more advantageous in combat compared to an older body. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, we can see that Muhyiddin Yassin is in fact entering the boxing match with me with a list of disadvantages. And therefore, we can come to the conclusion that this boxing match will in fact be a walk in the park, or rather, a walk in Dataran Merdeka for me. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so much for your time, and thank you so much for listening. I will not be taking any questions because I believe that I have presented enough evidence. So once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and have a nice day.